Hello everyone, I hope you're well and you've had a really good week. In today's video, we're going to look at 10 questions you can ask parents during your babysitter interview. When you attend an interview for a babysitter job, you can expect that the parents will ask you a fair few questions, but have a list of questions to hand that you can ask the parents too. Having questions of your own shows parents that you have thought about the job and shows that you want to clarify a few things before you decide if the job is right for you. So here's a few questions. Number 1, has your child or children had a sitter before? Now, if it is the first time the parents have left their child alone, then they might be super nervous about doing so. Usually the parents need a little more reassurance that their children will be safe in your hands. They might also suggest some unrealistic expectations of you if they've never had a sitter before, so just bear this in mind as well. If a parent has used a sitter before, then it is a good question to ask them what they liked or what they didn't like about the previous sitter that they had. This will give you a really good idea of what to do or avoid doing when you're with that family. If parents have used lots and lots and lots of sitters in the past, and none of those sitters have then returned back to that family, it might be a red flag that this might not be the right family for you if previous sitters don't want to come back and sit for them again. So the second question to ask is, what is the typical routine expected of me during the booking while I'm at your home? Now, by asking parents to talk you through what the children's usual routine is during the period of the booking, it'll give you a good idea of what is expected of you. Ideally, you want to be able to emulate the children's current routine so that you keep the same routine that the children are used to. If the children's routine involves you being a taxi driver for 4 hours, taking them from one sports practice to the next, while all you're doing is waiting in the car for them to finish their activities, and you don't really think that this is what you're up for, then it is as good a time as ever to find out about this information. It is also good to inquire if they want their exact routine to be followed, or if there is flexibility for you to have a bit of fun with the children as well. The third question that you can ask is, what kind of games do your children enjoy playing, or what activities are your children involved in? Now, if you are going to be spending an entire day or a whole evening with the children, then it is a really good idea to find out what they like or what they don't like, so that you can prepare yourself in advance for these bookings. Knowing what their favorite book is, or maybe what art they enjoy, if they enjoy maybe doing art and crafts, or they're happy for you to bake with their children, or if they have really sporty children, then you'll know that you can do lots of sport activities with them. It'll just help you plan a little bit more ahead. Ask things such as, are their children allowed to watch television during the booking, or are they allowed to be on any form of technology? Also ask if they like to have play dates, maybe after school with other children in their home, or if you are not wanting other children in the home, this is a good time to find out, because that will obviously increase the number of children that you look after. So it's good to find out this information ahead of the booking. The fourth question is, do you have any specific do's and don'ts in the home relating to cultural or religious beliefs? Now, this is an important question to ask. Many families, for example, may say a prayer before a meal, or take their shoes off before entering their home, or have different prayer times during the day, or maybe they don't celebrate birthdays or traditional UK holiday periods such as Christmas. So it is important to understand their family's cultural or religious beliefs before you start, so that you can plan ahead and work to adapt your booking around the family's religious or cultural beliefs. The fifth question to ask is, do you have a first aid kit in the house, and is it fully stocked? Now, as a sitter, you should always have your first aid kit with you at every single booking that you go to. However, asking a parent if they have one and knowing where the parent's first aid kit is kept in the house is super handy, especially for things like if ice packs are needed or plasters, which you really only want to delve into your own supply if there are no emergency supplies in the parent's home to use. The sixth question to ask is, do the children have any special needs or allergies or conditions that I should be aware of? Nowadays, there are more children than ever that have some kind of food intolerance or allergy. Things such as being allergic to nuts, shellfish, bee stings, honey are all very common. And usually, if it is severe, children will need an EpiPen, and the parents should advise you of this and also train you on how to use it if you don't already know. So it is also really important that parents are open and frank with you if their child has a special need, which might involve some specialized experience. Knowing from the beginning that you are confident to look after a child with additional needs is important from the offset in order to build good rapport with the family. If, of course, you feel really overwhelmed or you don't feel experienced enough to look after a child with additional needs, then this is the best time to find out rather than during the booking. The seventh question to ask is, how would you like me to handle discipline whilst in your home? Now, every family handles discipline in their own way. There is actually no right or wrong way in how to discipline a child. However, asking the parents how they would like you to discipline their child is important, as you do not want to get it wrong. Some parents use things like the naughty step, or other parents will just let their children cry it out. And some parents actually don't discipline their children at all. Now, if this is the case, this might be a red flag to not accept this booking, especially if the parents indicate that their child is a tyrant. Now, the eighth question to ask is, when the children are asleep or they're not asleep, is there anything else that you would like me to do during the booking? Now, this is also another very important question to ask during the interview, because it is good to find out at this stage what additional tasks are expected of you during the booking. Some parents might expect you to do things such as cook meals, do the laundry, help with homework, drive the children to and from school, clean the kitchen, take the dog for a walk. Some of these tasks which you might not feel comfortable doing, or you didn't really want to sign up as a babysitter to do them. Or you might be perfectly happy doing them if there is an additional cost per hour that the parents will pay you to do these activities. Now, these are good to know and talk about before accepting to work for the family so that there's no confusion further down the line. The ninth question to ask is, how would you like me to communicate with you during the booking? Nowadays, most parents have mobile phones. Ask a parent if they're happy to be contacted via call or text or WhatsApp message during the booking. It's also good to understand if parents actually want periodic updates or they only want to be contacted in an emergency. Now, the last question to ask is, do you have any questions for me? So this question is usually a prompt to a parent to ask any questions that they hadn't asked before. Don't be worried about asking too many questions during an interview. The more information that you can get from a family will give you a much better idea of whether you want to sit for this family or not. So there you have 10 great questions to have up your sleeve to ask parents at your next interview with a new family. We hope that these questions have been helpful, and thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in our next YouTube video. Bye for now and have a great week.